just so happens to factor in very, very well in a 1v1 situation. Now, given that you actually have to kill your opponent in a 1v1 or go for the CS advantage, which may not necessarily be the win conditioner as well, make sure to tweet at AzubuTV and let them know that you're watching. Of course, winner of this matchup will advance to take on Faker in our final best of 3 of the night. Just showing you some runes and masteries there. Nothing too surprising as far as this is concerned. 2109. The build, actually kind of interesting when you think about it. You don't see too many 2109s that put those 3 points into reduced summoner spell cooldown. Traditionally you want to put those into things like decreased recall timing or possibly even movement speed, but let's go ahead and check out Wings, Runes, and Masteries. You can see runes there, 19 AD, 9 armor, and 2.6 something. I don't think that's critical strike chance, but if somebody else can translate that and let me know, we'll figure what's going on there. But 2190, this is fairly standard. Spell Weaving, Blade Weaving, both picked up. No points in Warlord. Checking out the rune setup as well. We're going to see 9 armor, 19 damage, and again, those 2.6 points in something. I want to say, I don't think that's crit chance, so might just be. I take it back. Tristana's dance and laugh is the most annoying thing I've heard in the entire game. Welcome back to the Solo King, a Korean 1v1 tournament featuring your favorite players, teams, and champions from this season of Champions. Of course, brought to you here on AzubuTV. My name is Reed Rapid Melton, and I want to welcome you to game number 2 in this best of 3 series between Cain and Winged. And after a very impressive Leona versus Malzahar win for Cain over Winged in game number 1, he'll take that advantage here into game 2. Winged bringing out Jarvan the Fourth to face off against Cain's Nasus. And as far as sustain goes, this is about the most you can possibly have for Cain. He'll recall back to base and get a 4th total biscuit of rejuvenation. 34 ability power on Cain's AP Nasus. Being played here versus Winged's very standard attack damage, Jarvan the Fourth. And of course, I believe that was a lot of armor penetration. So it was high armor penetration with flat AD. That makes a little bit more sense when it comes to the 1v1. But unfortunately, I did not notice that from looking at his runes due to the fact that they were in Korean. So let's check out the Nasus dance. It's pretty OP. He's winning the dance off by himself. And actually, that means that he didn't go back to base to buy an extra potion. So that's actually kind of interesting to watch. You're seeing the AP Nasus power here, able to just last it with auto attacks, but look at that martial cadence damage. That is a little bit rough to deal with. Now he's gonna fight Winged in the Spirit Fire, which is never a place you want to fight in. Okay, this is an Ignite Barrier on Winged's Jarvan, so important to notice that he does both have Barrier to probably win most trades if he needs to use it, and the Ignite for the kill potential. So theoretically, Winged is setting himself up in a situation where he's going to be able to go in for a safe all-in and pick up a kill because of it. So martial cadence after that, and actually skilling Golden Age's second. A little bit interesting to see, just because you expect to see Jarvan's going for very early all-ins off of Demacian Standard into that Dragon Strike combo. But with the Golden Age's second, that actually capitulates a little bit to the advanced sustain that Cain has. He's got it from his passive, so when he auto attacks, he gets 10% lifesteal. He has it from Total Biscuits of Rejuvenation, which give a little bit extra health and mana regen back, and of course, a Crystalline Flask as well. Synonymous for both teams, but is AP Nasus OP Nasus is the question we have to ask him. You know, Cain's about to show it to us. He's up 1 CS in the 1v1. Winged has taken a large amount of damage from standing in that Spirit Fire. It actually has a fairly large radius compared to other spells that, you know, are non-ultimate. Excited to see how on earth Winged deals with this. can almost promise you he has not faced a lane phase versus an AP Nasus before, but, you know, stranger things have happened, so I suppose I could be possibly wrong about that. Siphoning Strike's starting to get stacked up. No teleport back to lane for Winged. Same situation here for Nasus. So Cain actually took Flash Ignite on Nasus. That confuses me to no end. Theoretically, especially versus an aggressive lane opponent, you'd want to maybe spec a little bit more defensively in your runes. Maybe take a barrier, take a summoner heal. Maybe not a summoner heal if you predict being all in. So. Barrier would have been a great choice, but going for the Flash Ignite Nasus is a very dangerous situation to deal with. Of course, walking all the way back. To lane with his first Doran's Ring versus the Doran's Blade buy there for Winged. Both champions probably will get another recall back to base to buy some extra items before this game ends, but at least at this point, can't say too many things about Cain's AP Nasus. Has picked up even CS with Wings, so he's actually able to, I guess, maybe make a case for at least being able to CS in a decent way. Winged, of course, seconds away from his level 6, actually seconds away from level 5. He hits level 5, goes to the all-in, misses the knockup, but still able to trade out effectively versus Cain. Now, Cain's sustain, as we said earlier on, remains mainly on the plains, but also in his Crystalline Flask. You see those martial cadences, just so high damage from Winged, really able to win that matchup just off of continual all-ins that Cain may not be able to deal with all that significant. There's the all-in again, flashing immediately back out. Ignite, I don't think is going to be enough to pick up this kill. Last tick of Ignite. And there you have it. The engage, the flash, or the Ignite Summoner spell down for Wing, but he does get himself back into this lane, and it only took him an Ignite Summoner spell to do it. Minions will come back into the lane, and Winged will be able to CS them, while Cain's Nasus takes the long, slowed, arduous trek back from base. It'll take a little bit of time to get back to that mid lane, and when he does, he's actually going to be facing a lane that is only slightly pushing towards him, probably with at least 2, possibly more CS that he may just not be able to get. Looks like at least at this point, the AP Nasus is doing a decent job of CSing. There's actually a Wither into Siphoning Strike, continual auto attacks, but I don't think Winged actually cares about that, because his all-ins are going to be incredibly high damage. Now, look at the item buys off the first trips back to base. For Winged, it's actually just a Doran's Blade, along with, you know, one of their best CS scores this week, but when you look at the overall CS, it just does not look extremely flattering. But hey, pushing a wave into turret, always a good thing to do, and it's going to take a long, arduous trip back from base here for Winged, who I feel is going to start to lose this matchup like slower and slower, or more slowly and more slowly, because if you look at the itemization that Cain just picked up, he grabbed the glacial, or not a glacial heart. Excuse me, Glacial Shroud picked up there, a little bit of cooldown reduction, a lot of armor and mana, so this is actually going to be really devastating to deal with. What is also going to be a damaging factor is if Winged ever uses Cataclysm on Cain, Cain is just going to immediately ultimate. Not only will he win almost every trade inside that ultimate, but he's also going to have the effective HP coming back his way. Area of effect damage, it's magic based. Of course, it does scale off of ability power. We're going to see if Winged wants to go for an all-in. Nope, just continuing to throw out those martial cadences. And keep in mind, it is magic damage versus a primarily physical resistance. Stacked champion there on Cain's Nasus, so definitely something to keep an eye on for now, but shouldn't see too much early aggression here from Cain, just given the fact that he probably loses a little bit more than he wins. Back in the lane, not necessarily the most exciting 1v1 matchup that we've seen all day long, but nonetheless one that is starting to actually go a little bit more in favor of Winged. He's about 11, 12 CS up, that's 2 whole waves. And he's not even behind in itemization now. Granted, he does not have the glacial, glacial shroud. I always mistake it because it looks like a shield, it's not a shroud. But regardless, just look at this AP Nasus Soulfire power. Once he gets that extra CDR, and of course some ability in his pocket, his ability to shove turrets is actually pretty insane. And the biggest issue here for Winged is that he's actually taken so much damage to turret. That turret is at half HP, and Nasus kills turrets so quickly. There's the all-in there, gonna go for the dunk, immediately forcing out Fury of the Sands. Winged gonna take a lot of damage from this. He is gonna go down there, one last auto attack, but he's gonna turn on his barrier. But look at the ability power from a Soul Fire on in there, Spirit Fire rather. And just look at how strong this counter all-in is. Fury of the Sands on in there, and in fact it is actually the Furious Sands that deal the majority of that damage. Winged able to run away, hit the barrier in time, but barrier's not going to save you from a Spirit Fire. Coming out, picking up game number 2, it's Cain with a 2-0 victory over Winged. And